Welcome, Climate Viewers. It's Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News at ClimateViewer.com. And as some of you may have noticed, I have been offline for a little while. Partly because I've been setting up my new computer and camera, microphone. As you can see, I got this new fancy, beautiful, sexy Shure mic. But more importantly, because YouTube decided that they were going to censor one of my videos, and I was put in timeout for medical and misinformation for over a week. And that gave me plenty of time to contemplate, what should I do? And I'm going to pose this question. Let me know in the comments. What does a guy who's dedicated over a decade to trying to just tell the truth about topics that aren't covered very often, and then being censored by YouTube regularly, even though I'm a tiny channel, just this 26,000 subscribers, nobody channel. It really is highly frustrating to see channels that have multiple million subscribers talk about the exact same topic, seemingly with impunity. But of course, these channels have lawyers. I guess that's probably the main determiner. So what do you think? When there are literally two companies that own everything in the world, that are tied to the defense industry, that are in the White House, that own everything, and they control everything. What does a guy like me do to continue to try to grow my influence, my business? Because at this point, I am the sole provider for my family. What do I do to continue to tell the truth about topics such as geoengineering, climate change, pollution, privacy, and propaganda? We're going to get into all of those things in this video. I can promise you that. But if you're anywhere else, despite YouTube shenanigans, come over to YouTube and search for ClimateViewer. Hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you can, come over to connect.climateviewer.com and you could support my channel on Patreon, or give a one-time donation on PayPal. I will be setting up a subscribe star very soon. A lot of people have suggested that. The chat saying talk in code. And you know what's funny about that? That's what a lot of channels do. They don't say the S word, they say off themselves. And I've noticed this, you know, like I've spent the last 2 weeks really just kind of studying everything and looking at it from every perspective, going to places like Foxhole and DLive and multi-streaming. Of course, that's in the works now. You know, I've got the new computer, I got the new camera, the mic. I'm currently working on a studio outside of my house so that I'm not in my living room. I'm not, you know, having to sequester the children and my wife to a bedroom and make sure everybody is quiet while I do these videos, because, you know, having things like this happen are getting freaking old. And I want to be able to put out more content. But this is what happened to my last video. Won't even read the name of that video. Here's a brief hint. But, you know, talking about these sorts of things gets you banned on YouTube. So now I have a community violation strike for medical misinformation. My second one, I got a warning for the first one. Was tons of fun. Really appreciate that. YouTube always looking out for the best interests of everybody around. But while I was on my break, I did a little bit of research, which was actually prompted by one of the viewers of this channel. And she said, you know, Jim, you got to watch this video. And it's by a gentleman named Tim Gielen, I want to say. And the title of the video is Monopoly: Who Owns the World? The link for this video is in the description. I'm not even sure that I'm going to leave this video up because I'm going to wait and hope that it gets mirrored to my Rumble, to my Odyssey and BitChute in time. I'm already on those channels. If for those who want to see, I'll just come over here. I forgot that's my background. Anyway, if you come over to connect.climateviewer.com, you'll be able to see all of my websites, the Patreon, PayPal link, and then right underneath the merch shop is my video links where you can see my Odyssey channel, my BitChute, and my Rumble. So every single video that I make automatically is already mirrored to these other channels. Vincent, you my dog, brother. I really appreciate it. Vincent, and I appreciate the letter to you, brother. I emailed you back, but it's great to say it in person. Thanks for the support, Vince. I really appreciate it. So, I'm already mirroring these videos. That's why there is a backup of the video that got struck. But regardless, I'm watching this video. This is one of the best documentaries I've seen on the subject because it is succinct. It really nails it down. And I'm even hearing some of the mainstream talking heads in this Twitter Elon Musk debacle going down, showing how far the censorship, rabbit hole goes. And the thing that people are missing, and, I was listening to Dan Bongino on the radio, and he was talking about BlackRock. And I was like, oh my God, look, they're getting closer to the truth. They're finally getting closer to the truth. And this was really cemented for me by this documentary. But what's not being said is, yes, BlackRock is part of this whole climate change agenda. BlackRock is in the White House. Former BlackRock employees are, on the Economic Council. And we'll get into, how this all fits into the climate change agenda in a next video. But I just want to give you the overarching theme here about censorship and what we're really up against. Because now that this has really sunk in, I'm raging mad. I mean, I literally could drop F-bomb after F-bomb throughout this video. And that's why I've waited 2 weeks, even though I was only banned for a week, to really wrap my head around what I wanted to say. And what I want to say, it's just me and you now, me and you guys. Rockfin, definitely going to look into that. My boy, my brother from another mother, quite frankly, Frank is going to help me get set up to where I've got a similar deal to him. I'm probably going to go the podcasting route as well, because that way I can just, literally be able to say what I want to say, and, put it out there and not worry as much. But we'll look into that in the future. So we're talking about, what's the real deal with this whole Twitter, Elon Musk, and why does it matter so much? And what the hell has that got to do with me getting censored on YouTube? Well, let me give you a big hint. It has to do with these assholes, and they literally own everything on the planet. If you do not go watch this documentary, you're doing yourself a disservice. Everybody, go watch this documentary. And if you have a YouTube channel, mirror it. I'm not going to, because I know what they'll do with me if I put this on there. But I'm going to at least point you to it. And the link is in the description. Watch it. So this is the real thing. This is the real story. This is what's going on. So Elon Musk bought up 9% of Twitter, and then he made a huge offer to go and buy the whole thing because, he wants freedom of speech. He wants no censorship. And of course, everybody can argue what his he's really, talking about Podbean I'm doing, Ryan. That's what I was talking about with the podcasting thing. I'm trying to set all this up while simultaneously building a studio in a part of a trailer that was destroyed during Hurricane Hugo that's in my backyard. It used to be my tool shed, and it's taken a week just to get the trash and all the stuff that we've stuffed in there over the last couple of years. So if anybody would like to contribute to helping me build this studio, I would greatly appreciate it. The link is on connect.climateviewer.com. You can go to my PayPal. Maybe I can set a GoFundMe up or you know, something on Give, Send, Go specifically for that. I've already got a large donation from a single individual. That's how I was able to purchase this new microphone, camera, and stuff. And I'm putting some of that towards, you know, the studio already. But help me get the hell out of my house so that I can make more content more regularly and work. I need to work right now. Regardless. So Elon bought 9% of Twitter, and then he offered to buy all of it. And I don't know what your opinion is of Elon. It seems to me like he's being genuine in the fact that he recognizes the threat of censorship and the threat of people being deplatformed. And yes, there are alternatives, but the problem is that even though there are alternatives, you still got to go and see me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody who supports me, I really appreciate it. You have no idea. All of this goes directly to my family. You know, sole provider. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to follow my dream, and hopefully you guys will support me along the way. And you guys always have. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Simi. The thing about Elon Musk trying to take over Twitter that's really got them threatened is that it is one of the big three. You know, having a Gab, you know, I'm on all of those things. Okay. So I'm on Getter, I'm on Gab. Here's all my old, you know, Facebook and Twitter stuff. Parler's it's just dead as far as I can tell. Nobody's doing anything over there. I'm not on True Social. I haven't done that. But regardless, yeah, I want to get onto all the other things. But if we can't win the fight directly on the big dogs like Twitter, like YouTube, like Facebook, if we can't get our message out to the masses, then what's the point? And that's where Elon's really coming in as an important, you know, tool for change. The problem is that people aren't recognizing how deep this control mechanism goes, whether you like CNN or whether you like Fox News, both are owned by BlackRock and Vanguard. Whether you like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you know, all of them, doesn't matter. All owned by the same people. BlackRock, Vanguard. BlackRock is owned by Vanguard. Who owns Vanguard? All those names that you love to hate. George Soros, Bill Gates, all of the richest 0.001%. The people that make the 1% look poor. They own Vanguard. And they own everything. A famous rapper I love, Immortal Technique, said, "Since you were born, we control what you watch and you read, and pretty soon we're going to own the fucking air that you breathe." And that is the idea that these people have, that they want to own it all and therefore control it all. And controlling free speech is mind control, is behavioral control. So that's the number one problem we're facing right now. So for me, seeing this Elon Musk thing play out and then not hearing anybody talk about the facts that, you know, he's no longer the company's largest shareholder. So yeah, he was for a brief moment. But then what happened? Funds held by Vanguard Group recently upped their stake in social media platform, making the asset manager Twitter's largest shareholder and bumping Mr. Musk out of the top spot. Vanguard disclosed on April 8th that it now owns 82.4 million shares of Twitter, or 10.3% of the company. Who's going to tell you about that? J9, big salute to you. ClimateViewer fam, you guys are the best. Thanks for all you do, Jim. Thank you, J9. I really appreciate your support. So at the end of the day, this is the stuff that nobody's talking about, is about this group of freaking elitists that own everything on the planet. Again, go watch the documentary. I did the research. I am super critical. I don't trust anybody. And I watched this documentary and I went and I verified it for myself. Vanguard Holding acquires 10.3 stake in Twitter, dethrones Elon Musk as the largest shareholder because the owners, the bankers, the richest of the richest people in the history of man own Vanguard, and Vanguard owns BlackRock, and BlackRock owns the White House. And BlackRock literally lends money to the Federal Reserve when they don't have it. That's how rich they are. So if BlackRock is lending money to the Federal Reserve and Vanguard owns BlackRock, don't believe me? Bam, here is BlackRock. Let me come over here and zoom this in. BlackRock Inc. And who is the largest owner? The Vanguard Group with 12.2 million shares. Blow it up even a little bit bigger. Get your stupid ad out of my face. So there you go. Everybody's talking about BlackRock now, but they're still not talking about the top of the pile. Oh, is this pyramid? Is this like a pyramid to you? Does this look like that Eye of the Illuminati pyramid that everybody wonders? Well, at the very, very top of all of it is Vanguard, and nobody's willing to talk about this. I'm going to talk about it. Damn the repercussions. So I wanted to look at it for myself. Bam, Twitter. It's down a little bit right now because of all the shenanigans. But yes, top institutional holders. Vanguard Group, 70.3 million shares, followed by Morgan Stanley, followed by BlackRock. And of course, State Street. We won't get into them. You'll see that name over and over again as well. They're, of course, listed right there. Berkshire Hathaway, State Street, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase. You know the names. Everybody knows this stuff about most of these, but people aren't talking enough about the Vanguard BlackRock problem. So why is this such a problem? Because guess what? They not only own Twitter, they own Facebook. Vanguard Group, 172.9 million shares. BlackRock, 151.8 million shares. They own it. There's State Street again. Alphabet, Google, YouTube. Who owns it? This is what matters at the end of the day. Who are the owners? Who are the ones shoving this censor shit down my throat? Once again, the Vanguard Group and BlackRock, T. Rowe Price, and State Street. So at 21 million shares, Vanguard Group owns Google, which is now Alphabet Inc., which is Google, which owns YouTube. So I think I've made my case here. At the end of the day, it's just us, fam. Vanguard, yeah. My friend Dominic from weathermodificationhistory.com. Dominic's up in Canada, and BlackRock has literally bought up every single house around there to the point where the prices are insane. You can't even buy a freaking house, and if you rent from them, you're going to pay through the nose. They are literally the world's largest monopoly, and nobody's talking about it. Let alone ever throwing around the idea that, you know, these people should be broken up, that they should be divested. They should be, I'm not even going to say the words, but regardless. So if a group of elitists run the White House, run all of the Silicon Mafia, Google, Twitter, Facebook, everything, all the food you eat, the gas that you put in your car, the mining, everything. The only thing they don't own right now is the fucking air that you breathe, as Immortal Technique said it. So I'm really stuck in this conundrum where I go, how can I continue to speak my truth and do my research and then say it without self-censorship, which I refuse to do? And of course, there's community guidelines, because that's the now new blanket way to censor little channels, while the big channels with their lawyers can fight it and get away with it. This is a really messed up situation to be in. Regardless, I'm going to continue to press on. Right now, like I said, I'm working on my studio. I hope to be out of this house and into my studio as soon as possible. That way I can try to put out a video every single day during the week. Hopefully I will be able to, start a podcast. That way I can really get things off my chest. I will be, switching from Streamlabs over to, I'm not going to use Restream, but I will find a way to multi-stream and or put my content on as many platforms as possible that aren't owned by BlackRock and Vanguard. But this is the fight of a lifetime right now going down at Twitter. And it's really going to show, can the world's richest man, seriously, the world's richest man on the planet, buy Twitter and then open source the algorithm and then make the trends on Twitter public again, not curated, not, censored? Because when Let's Go Brandon was trending, they had to shut that down immediately. When trends come up that they don't like, they censor them. When people say things they don't like, they censor them and they deplatform them. That's why Elon is fighting so hard to fix Twitter. And to my surprise, even Jack Dorsey's come out, previous CEO of Twitter, in defense of Elon and how shady what's going on. But at the end of the day, how do we stop this? How do all of us po-folk, common man, we the people, how do we continue to have this American experiment in self-governance and freedom of expression and freedom of religion and liberty? How do we continue this in this capitalist society where such a small group of people can own everything and control everything? ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox News, doesn't matter where you're watching your news, they own it. I haven't looked into Newsmax. I'm pretty sure OAN is not owned by BlackRock. But regardless, it's getting harder and harder for us to get the truth or to even speak it. So I hope that you guys will stick by me while I make this transition. I hope that you'll support me, especially financially. If you can support me at all in building the studio outside, that's going to be able to separate my life with my wife and my two children. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old daughter. I want to be able to be as involved and more involved in their lives while being able to separate that from my work, which I continue. I will never, ever stop. This is a marathon, not a sprint. I knew this 10 years ago. I knew this day would come where I would be burnt out, demoralized, a little bit, down in the dumps. But regardless, I'm going to have to pick myself up by my bootstraps and double down and work twice as hard. And I'm going to do that. With your help and God willing, we will get through this. And it is mighty depressing. It is mighty depressing to learn about this stuff and to realize how much money and how dirty that money is. It's controlling basically everything to the point where everything is propaganda. Seriously. So I'm going to continue to try to separate the propaganda and fear porn from facts and give it to you in the straightest manner possible. I'm just this Southern guy, Sumter, South Carolina, telling my truth. I have never, ever intended on any kind of medical misinformation or misinformation otherwise. I've always told you, do not even trust me because I don't trust myself. I learn all the time when I've been wrong, and I'm going to be the first to tell you. And guess what? It's beautiful climate viewers like you that point out whenever I get it wrong or if I'm not seeing the big picture. And you know what? I'm going to learn from that, and we're going to learn from each other, because the day we all agree is the day we could all be wrong. That's why free speech matters. So I hope that you guys stick by me. If you haven't subscribed, do it. I mean, there's not just the YouTube, there's Odyssey, there's Rumble, there's BitChute, there's more to come. This is not the end. This is just the beginning, baby. So there's a lot to do, and I'm going to keep buckling down on it. I'm currently working on ClimateViewer.com, give it a makeover. I'm going to move ClimateViewer.org, my maps, over to maps.climateviewer.com. It's going to get a refresh. I am dying to make some new maps. I got a ton of stuff I want to do, but I got a lot of work to make. I got to build that foundation so that this fortress of truth is strong. And that foundation starts with the studio outside my house, getting all of my ducks in a row, and then being able to crank out content. And I intend on doing that. So I think that this video has gone on long enough. If you don't know, shout out to my homeboy, quite frankly. He's on right now, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. So after you're done with this video, bookmark this documentary, Monopoly, Who Owns the World. Make sure you bookmark this. Watch it all the way through. Come back and talk to me about it. Tell me what you think. And give me your advice. I want to know what you think I should do. And I know I've got a lot of the suggestions. Diversify. Go to all the platforms. Do it. Try to do it all. I only have so much bandwidth. We'll find out how many of them that I can, stream to simultaneously before this thing crashes. But as it is right now, all of my live videos automatically get mirrored to BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble. And that's the way I'm going to continue to do it till I can make sure that everything's stable and I can, multi-stream to all of them. So thank you all for, sticking with me for the last decade. Here's to the next decade, and, to Vanguard and the Silicon Mafia, 2 number ones. Your BlackRock, Vanguard, you're number 1 and number 2. And for all of you out there, peace, love, and just remember, guys, with information comes power. And without that information, we are powerless. And the powerful want to censor us. So please use this information to attack ideas, not people. Love you, mean it. Video resonates with you, leave me a comment because I love hearing from y'all. First time here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Yeah! Remember, it would be impossible for me to do this without your support, so please join my Patreon or buy me a coffee on PayPal. And always, attack ideas, not people.